things, and we're gonna hop into the game.
That is the dream.
That's the cool one.
To see if OG can they actually do it and actually take the set, complete the victory, and go through into the winners bracket final, or will Newbie kick back? They come up with a fun draft. We have ourselves a Darkseer off lane and a Moo Tidehunter mid.
Yep, and Crit immediately went to the safe lane to prevent the Darkseer from getting wards down. If he would have gotten these down, it would have limited their experience gain in the early game, and they've got to get off to a good start due to the Drow strat.
Yeah, and that's another thing, which like you're also willingly picking a Drow into a slot. Normally, any kind of heroes which can close that distance over on a Drow is something you're very, very scared of.
Yeah, but if they do get advantage, and they can weather the storm of the newbie spells, basically Static Storm, Ravage, Double Sunray, Supernova, they can win this fight, definitely, because they've got great nukes, they've got good kiting, all of their abilities are on very, very low cooldowns, so they have to play around newbies' big teamfight ultimates, and if they can do that, they can steamroll them, take a lot of towers, and gain advantage.
We'll see if it's going to be possible. We're going to get underway. 20 seconds until the creep wave spawns as well as the runes come up, and looks like nothing else is really unusual. Hound will be up on the top lane. A fresh observer ward from OG watching the movement around the top river and into the Dire jungle. And the Dire put a very defensive ward over on the bottom river, so they're looking to wait until they're ready, have the timings right for those team fights you're talking about. So it's just about controlling your side of the map, getting the levels, and having a good bit of fun.
Yep. Chuan not really on the same kind of hero that he normally plays. This game he's got a Disruptor. He's been playing a lot of stun heroes. This hero has tons of potential. We saw it yesterday being played very well. What team was that? It was VP when they took the win there to Secret. Ooh, and Moon gets the D ward here on the Observer ward. Really nice snag here, and he's gonna start in the jungle, it looks like, considering the fact that he's basically mid. Very difficult against a Disruptor, since you can glimpse back Beastmaster and guarantee to kill, and Slark. Like, if he lands Pounce, he just dies, because he's got 4 seconds before the Pounce, and then afterwards you get glimpsed. And now they're gonna bully Darkseer out. It's kind of a cool dual lane, actually. Tether to make Vengeful Spirit even better, like free boots.
I'm trying to remember the team who used to do this all the time. I think it was a European team, but you'd always relocate in the supports to end up just having like this really active support. So the rotations wouldn't just come from like walking under the cover of smoke. You'd actually use the relocate and then come with like a heavy stunner. Normally it was like something with like a Lina, however.
I kind of like that, and they're actually stacking up a lot already, right off the bat. Normally you just do side pulls that stack, but if they're just a bit efficient here, it's going to accelerate No-Tail heavily in the early mid-game once he hits 6. And he's going to be fine against Darkseer anyways. Like, Drow is actually quite good versus DS. I mean, so it's a little surprised to see the DS come out last, but that combo with the Slark should make Slark's early fights pretty solid, and they can also do things like Surge Ravage to give Tide a better Ravage to start the fights. So it'll be interesting to see how that hero works out. And there's also the potential of like Vacuum into Static Storm or Vacuum Ravage Static Storm. These fights, like, it could be very much, oh, Moo might die mid.
Troublesome for him. That Tidehunter, he's got 2 points up in Kraken, however. So very, very difficult to find a kill, even with that bonus 12 damage, or 7 damage, I should say, coming in from the Drow.
I mean, the fact that we haven't even talked about a Tide mid yet is crazy, because this is the weirdest mid lane I've ever seen. He's skill building like he's off lane, and that's the only reason he didn't die here. And I think that's basically what Newbie says. They know that OG is going to do a dual roam, or they're going to roam at certain points, and they need to have somebody, they need to have their lanes not die. Is he going to buy Armlet, though? That's the real question. Armlet Tidehunter? Is that too crazy? Right-clicking Tidehunter?
I don't know, man. Like, if we actually had KP on more of like a core style hero, which we've seen before, like Newbie running 3 cores, like it'd be like, oh, you just turned to KP. Like, he would play like that big, real damage dealing style hero, and leave Moo to be the initiator. It's, I don't know. The world is open. KP, don't die to yourself.
Nah, he'll be fine, man. Okay, he's pretty low, that's scary.
Yeah.
Dark Troll Summoner, man. Oh,
Yeah.
oh. You see that little panic surge there? He's like,
He got just out of range.
oh, not me.
A lot of patience coming here from Crit. He's waiting behind the tier 1 tower of the Dire side for the opportunity where they can again go over on Moo.
There's a courier too, he might spot this. He's in a position where he can see it.
It's gonna be visible right now. So he sees the courier now, and he's moving up forward.
I'll
but
let you just flying. I don't think he'll get this. So you can maybe get it if he gets it.
Oh, no,
he got it!
Oh boy, oh boy.
That's so big.
It didn't even walk the right way, and now Crit,
Oh,
well,
cares?
you did take out the courier, but can you get more? Miracle, orbs down, now the sun ray turned on by Kaka, but he can't control the power of the sun. And it looks like the Aya will be escaping scot-free after taking the bottle.
By that you mean
no,
that
the
you can bottle through Sunray? Was that what you meant?
No.
Okay, well that's what I mean, and that's the only reason he didn't die there. What a huge play by him, and I don't even know if he was 100% planning on that. His positioning, it didn't look like it spotted the courier, and he didn't anticipate it, but he gets it, just barely. That's 175 gold for everybody on the Radiant team. That's kind of like getting a free tower, just right off the bat. So I'm sure they're yelling at support. If you're playing support and it's like past 3 minutes and they don't have a flying courier yet, that's the perfect example for criticism, because that could have just not happened. Or get stopper too.
Instead of supports fly up and other items, so you got TPs, you've actually got a ring of protection over on a Phoenix. You're walking around with a Disruptor who went for early boots over on Chuan and a whole bunch of consumables. Now he's got the money.
Yep.
But now it's a little too late.
Yep, and kind of weird roles going on. The fact that No-Tail's playing Drow Ranger.
Kaka, stun from Fly on bottom lane. Chris gonna try and stick with him. They actually do a hell of a lot of damage with just a pair of them. I'm wondering to see what happens once No-Tail's able to get the final 400 points of experience he's looking for to get that level 6 on the Drow.
They're hitting really hard right now too. He doesn't have any skill points in his other spells, but I don't think he really needs to. They won't land the stun. Kaka's gonna survive here, but they should take this tower almost instantly. Especially when he hits 6.
It's not to get the fortification out from Ruby.
Still pressuring Moo. Moo's all into Kraken Shell, so kind of a smart build, I suppose, because if with Drow Aura up, everybody's gonna hit really hard, so if you're able to damage block, it's a really good counter to Drow. That plus like Crimson Guard means Titan doesn't really die.
Well, No-Tail will take out the bottom tower. It's kind of funny when you think about it though. It's like, okay, so how do we survive? Well, they do a crap ton of damage. Let's just get a really tanky mid. We don't have our normal DK. We were looking at like the option of Invoker as their final one.
Yep.
But then that didn't come up, and it would have been a lot easier to kill.
So Chuan's gonna TP mid to refill the bottle for Moo here. I'm sure somebody was just going to build the Crimson Guard though on Newbie. Possibly Darkseer in the mid game. Obviously it doesn't stack with Kraken Shell, but Kraken Shell for now will keep Tide alive, and later that might give them enough to stay alive and win the game. But for now, he's getting wrecked mid. He's got 18 last hits, 19 last hits versus Miracle's 38.
Yeah.
And Miracle just keeps pulling out heroes. Like, his hero pool is actually massive. I swear to God, he plays a different hero every game.
So we need a different build as well for a puck. No early Blink Dagger, no Veil, has to be something new and different and unusual.
Well, there it is. Treads with the fast Null Talisman. Now, it makes total sense. This isn't too hard to analyze. He wants Treads because he wants attack speed, because the attack speed is going to give him lots of DPS with the Drow Aura. So, totally makes sense what he's doing here, and it's going to allow him to kill heroes solo a lot easier.
One thing I noticed though, like after you put this initial pressure on bottom lane, it's always like that weird thing about the Drow, like where do you go to after that point? No-Tail already starts his rotation, he goes into the jungle with the Morbid Mask, very reminiscent of what EG used to do when they were running those Vent strats all the time with Fear.
Yep.
It's like, if bottom lane, you get your supports leveled up, and VS, like some teams, including the ones who are here, actually run VS as a core, and with the amplification that comes from the Drow, you actually get that too. So Newbie have to be really careful that this damage output, like, that they're able to survive through it, and they don't just enable OG to get it just through the power of auras.
Yeah, and normally I would honestly criticize this a small amount, because now Phoenix is able to get 6, kind of getting the same thing as what Venge is getting. But Venge is opting for a couple more aura levels, and like you said, the auras are going to synergize so well. The Drow Aura gives everybody damage, Vengeance Aura gives everybody damage, and if Venge dies, reduces their damage, and they've also got Beastmaster Aura.
Top lane, How's in trouble. Moon.
Oh,
Aura is able to come up in time, and the fell. They'll get inside that Shadow Dance. There's no more support to come, so the fight doesn't work perfectly, but OG wants you to do a like this. Like, it's a Drow Ranger, right? You got to take out all these early tier 1 towers the second you hit level 6.
It was a great attempt. The range on Gus set it up, but they just didn't quite approach fast enough. If they had a swap ready there, that would have been beautiful. They could have swapped into Aurora. I think that was the way they should have done it. They didn't get the kill. It does use Slark's ulti elite, so for 35 seconds, Slark doesn't pose a huge threat. But with Moo rotating, it's so hard for them to take the tower. They're gonna have to back off now and possibly go a different lane.
KP moved up, so yeah, OG can't really hang around. The observers are being planted. Crypt plants one of his own, and Newbie are pretty well aware of where Crypt moved to. They just don't know he's put down the observer ward. That's the only bit of information they are not 100% certain of.
They gotta hit 6 on Venge, it's the important thing.
They can just wait now too, like Miracle's having the time of his life. And Notel rotates into mid. Yeah, they're trying to force Nubi to move to them. Chuan gonna get recalled up. Kaka turns on the Sunray Miracle. He's burning pretty heavily, and Notel can't really afford to die here either. He's going underneath Kaka. Disruption Maul is there, and you can say goodbye to Notel. First blood going the way of Nubi. Miracle will be able to escape as he went the long way around to get to that top rune area.
Yeah, that was pretty greedy by OG there. They thought that they could get that kill, but Puck had already used most of his other spells, and as soon as the TP comes in, No-Tail doesn't hit very hard. In fact, No-Tail doesn't hit hard at all yet. He's level 6, but he didn't even have treads there. The damage was not high enough with the burst to get... that was the only way they get that kill.
Yep.
So that kind of overextend is huge. When you're playing a Drow strat, you have this limited window, and they've got the gold advantage, so it gave even more gold to their opponents.
Newbie, you don't want to give him an inch in this early stage. 3 top net worths still belong to OG, but we know the power timing is coming. You're mentioning like Kaka began to hit level 6, makes OG's fights a lot more difficult, even though they do have a lot of ways to bring down the egg once it cracks. But Moose still, like, it's an unused Ravage over on this Tidehunter. And if you're going to fight into Newbie and Newbie are prepared for you, you're probably going to lose out just because of the amount of control that Newbie has.
I'm a little curious what Moon's doing here. He's got 2,000 gold in the bank. Probably still gonna Necro 1, but there's a small chance that he goes Blink first just to surprise his opponents. They will get the top tower for free, and by free I mean that's an offlane and a support. And they're giving Fly last hits, by the way, so I think they're trying to transition him as a carry, despite being a support, basically. It's kind of cool to see.
The Necro book was bought by Moon.
Okay.
So I was actually kind of with you for a little bit on it, because like Miracle also was getting very close to having Blink Dagger money, so they would have both bought Blink at exactly the same time.
Yeah, because hypothetically, if they like Blink Silence and then Blink Roar, they definitely can kill Slark, but it's way more safe just to go Necro, because now they get another aura. Movement speed and attack speed aura from this. Play the better plan.
And they're giving so much space to Kaka too on bottom lane. He's actually free farming up this bottom lane while OG are doing their rotations.
Yeah,
like OG
happy.
is still ahead, like there's still 4k net worth in front.
He will be able to get a fast Midas out of this, and this is most likely what he'll spend his gold on. There's some other early item builds you can do maybe, but most likely. Level
Fly,
7
this is not a trap when you are visible. The Observer Ward sees him perfectly. The smoke maneuver is coming from Chuan and Kaka. They couldn't make up their mind exactly how they wanted to approach this one, and now Chuan gets the vision. He wants Moon more than anyone else. He's the bigger hero, locked inside the wall and the storm. Lining up with the Sun Ray, Moon will drop, and Fly just starts his TP out. There's no more follow through, but it's a good maneuver from Newbie.
Yeah, he's considering swapping him out there, but ultimately not worth it because
Moon? Yep, he's gonna burn Ravage for this, but no, the creeps, they block him in, he just managed to get the anchor smash off. No Tal will move over, but this is a 9-1 charged Tidehunter. You're not killing him.
That's a huge kill for him, especially because he didn't have as many last hits as the Puck. Now he gets a free catch-up basically from killing an enemy hero. It was only a level 5, so it didn't cost much, but...
They go on mid, Chuan's gonna send him away. The Thunder Ray tries to keep Moo alive. That Dark Troll Summoner, it does do enough with the help of Drow. They're all over him.
Dude, she's hitting really hard right now with the Vendor on top of this. 20% bonus damage with her ultimate. Damn.
It's the classic aura strat. You have BS, Beastmaster, Drow.
Yep.
The only thing we're missing right now is almost having like an alacrity buff up from an Invoker.
And the best thing about this strat for OGs is it's very similar to what they've been playing all week. 5-man strats, really good discipline, sit behind each other, cover each other, and win those early fights. The difference is that it's not about heals, it's mostly about damage, so it's kind of cool to see the difference.
Miracle jumps up, he wants to keep Chuan out of this, and he's going to be able to, actually if he hits the orb attack, Chuan takes so much damage!
Oh, great bottle.
They're going to be able to pick up the egg, so her Ranger now actually has some extra life.
Yeah, KP absolutely kept the Disruptor alive there. Miracle a little off position.
He's going to jump straight back in, you know what he's here for. He came over for Chuan, the storm is down, Miracle's going to get caught inside that crit, keeps the tether up, and with a swap out from flank,
they do it!
To a better position. OG, they are styling on Newbie, and already the Shadow Dance has to be burned from Hell. He's body blocked up by Fly, he'll pounce down inside the pit. They know he's down there. They can't reveal him yet, the gust will happen, but How's on the run.
He will do the old use his legs and walk away after the cliff jump.
You're still very happy with this as OG. You got a whole bunch of kills, and now you also take out the Ancient Stack of Newbie, and you can just transition this to keep on pushing.
And they did this while they were Roshing. Like, I didn't even notice it. I was looking at the Puck the whole time, and then Drow comes out, he's got the Aegis ready.
Yep.
So Newbie has to take a perfect team fight. And the fact that Miracle was able to eke that kill out without dying, it just blows my mind. First, like, they got advantage, they wasted a team fight ultimate, and now Newbie still can't fight because Static Storm's on cooldown for 36 seconds. Like, if he keeps doing this and he gets saved by his allies and no one dies, OG's just gonna womp the fights and keep getting more towers.
I still want to see more influence coming out from Hal, the man who hasn't died yet, and he's running ahead of Midas now. So it's going to take time before he reaches that point, but
Yeah.
you think about, like, Newbie still have themselves a really big team fight combination. You almost want to see OG get an early Dragon Lance or something over on the draw so she can push high ground and take rack, so you get a better advantage of Newbie before they say, we can just sit in our base and wait for you to come to us.
Especially with that Midas, they know that if this game goes semi-neutral, if it becomes a game like last game or the game before, the Midas is really going to pay for itself on Slark, and at some point he's going to be way out of control. Drow won't be able to stay ahead of him unless they start trading buybacks like we saw last game. So that means they're been more on a timer than they were before. It's a little scary for Newbie because now Slark is pretty much bad at fighting.
Yep.
Until he gets at least like some HP on his hero.
So they just have to dodge until that point.
Well, the Newbie has to dodge, OG has to force fights and take towers, which they were going to do anyways. So, I mean, this could make Howl look amazing, this could make Howl look like an idiot. It really depends on how these next couple fights work.
How just broke his smoke, I don't think he's ready for Chuan to hit him like that.
That's fine, he's going to bait anyways.
Oh, that observer, they see everything move. The fresh blink dagger into the dome for the perfect storm. Miracle, no talent caught.
He
The
saved him.
relocate out. He got him in time. Miracle got sent all the way back home. No talent will still trigger.
They can
That
fight
was
this.
the Aegis the Immortal. But you burn your raw already. Fly comes in. He's got swap available. No talent, instant gust over onto Karkar as well as Hal. And Hal, well, there is no Shadow Dance. Who wants to get back for his T1 tower? But now Miracle, Dreamcall, they have to stand. They have to fight Newbie, but Juan is down. The wall is up as well from KP, trying to zone OG out of this engagement. And KP, the gust is going to hit him. The ball's on his tail, but KP will have to surge himself away. He can't actually stay through. Not with the cold arrows are continuously hitting, and they actually bring down the Tidehunter. Hal's
They
back
got
to
him.
fight, but he's gone as well. Newbie losing everything. And the triple kill for Nurtail. Newbie, they tried to get out. They thought maybe it was a good idea to stay, and it definitely was not.
That was such a clutch fight. Crit absolutely saved everything. He pulls out Puck, keeps Puck alive where Puck was almost guaranteed dead. Definitely gonna die without the relocate. And then the Aegis on the Drow, that was the other person that was left over. It bought him enough time as well for the relocate to return, so it was a straight up 5v5 fight instead of a 3v5 until the relocate returned. And then somehow Drow just killed everybody.
This is so huge now, because also Notel, that Dragonlance I was talking about, this is the kind of early stuff you'd love to do with drones. It lets you go high ground against tier 3 towers without actually going high ground. The damage is ridiculous, and they're going to keep it up. Here comes the Phoenix for Karka, instantly gushed. Moon wants to jump in too. They've at least locked him inside the 7-10 with a roll on KP. KP's going down. OG, or inside the base. Notel's doing more work. He'll end up dying. Crit can't keep him alive. So they've lost throw. They've lost their buffer. Fly, Dreamcall will trigger. Now, however, Thunder, he's going to go down. Throw by his phone. He's almost asking for more and more. Do they actually win? Relocate? Do they want to bring him in? He's relocating forward. Going for Torn. Notes to who touched well and hold him. They go for the right. They're going to finish this. Moon inside the sun ray. Jump from Miracle. He cancels it off. Sean's here, but then over. He'll trigger just in the nick of time. Sean, he can't survive. The top rack is gone. We're 16 minutes in. Newbie are forced to use multiple buybacks to defend inside their base, and still OG get out.
They killed Phoenix? Dude, the creeps killed Phoenix?
Yeah,
That
it was the Necros who were in there too.
Oh, and he used Sunray as well, so he was lowering his own HP.
Yeah.
What just happened? Oh, like the game looked topsy-turvy, but all of a sudden when that Necro respawned, they had the DPS to blow up the Tide, and now they're just going all in on super early efficiency items. Fly's been able to pick up a drum. Only one drum. This is the way to do it, teams. One drum, one Dragon Lance. Vlad's now on Beastmaster with all of these auras. Their power curve hit, they got a rack, and it just makes the game so much easier. And now Newbie's looking at this like, all right, we have to win the next fight. If we do not win the next fight and we get 2 racks by like 25 minutes, the game just ends. There's no way to come back at that point.
They have 16,000 worth of net worth. We just brought it up, and the experience is up so high. OG are rolling in the tower. They've got everything they want. a puck with a Yule Scepter. So even if you think you've got the initiation,
Yeah.
you don't really have it. I was actually worried for Moon when that fight happened up on top lane when Newbie seemed to get the slightly better trade. I'm like, here it's going to come now. He's not going to get the blink dagger. There's no initiation. The Necro's going to be slowed up. Instead, Moon actually also realizes that the pace of this game. He goes Blaz. He gets Necro 3. He doesn't need the blink dagger.
He doesn't. They can just slow push it. All of their heroes are hard to kill. As long as Crit and Venge sit back, they're fine. And yeah, they're not as much about heals, but they're about team fight saves, which is why this draft is so beautiful. Because if they had heals, they can't necessarily survive things like Sunray Ravage and Static Storm.
Sorry, it's just something really, really cute. But Notel's using Courier to find Vision to farm a camp on the other side, so he doesn't have to back up and walk all the way around.
All right, that's pretty efficient.
I don't know if it was fully efficient, however. But it's still
Whatever.
quirky.
Totally cool. And now they're gonna go do the push. 2,800 gold on Drow Ranger. Next item probably, I think he just goes BKB just to be super safe. Because this way, if Tide blinks in, BKB's popped, he's fine. But with the Venge and the IO, if they just use those heroes to limit the effectiveness of those teamfight ultimates, Newbie's draft is completely countered. Heals wouldn't be able to do it though.
OG are coming. They're hoping that Newbie will defend the tier 2 tower on bot lane, or have someone just slightly walk out a little bit out of position. They saw Kaka for a very short moment, and with the Hawk up, they see everything.
They see it, they know.
There's no defensive design, die ward up, so Moo surging out. The Raw is over on Chuan. Necrobox as well. This means there's no storm for the fight. Chuan's almost dying, in fact, just the solo Necrobox with the Hawk up. Are they going to chase it even further? How has to trigger up his Shadow Dance, so the initiation comes. They don't find a kill, but it means that Newbie's defense of the tier 2 tower will be in vain. This is a tier 2 tower to OG, as well as Roshan's still dead.
I don't know if they can take this here. Like, they needed to get a kill with their initiation, and Puck did not follow up on Moon going in, because if he did, they just Static Storm 2 heroes with the Ravage, and they could easily win the fight. So, he forced some stuff, they lost the melee Necro, they delayed the Disruptor, but if the creep wave wasn't in position, and the draw wasn't hitting the tower the whole time. So, that's basically how things go. They force him back, but they don't get advantage, and they've got to wait until their ultimates and the Necro are back up before they can fight again.
Well, that won't be long. Necro's up in 43 seconds.
There's a Mithril Hammer on Puck. BKB, Deso? Deso would be pretty good on one hero. I would actually like to see that. BKB's a little safer. No Tail's close to his. 400 gold away for him.
Just waiting for the Maelstrom.
Oh yeah, it could be Maelstrom, I guess.
And anything to push, a little bit more attack speed to work with.
It's not terrible. It would also help counter what Newbie's builds are going to be, which is most likely going to be damage block and armor.
Unless they're just like, you know, let's just get double BKBs and we null the effective Moo on the 2 major cores.
Yeah, it's really up to 2 ways. Does Miracle want to amplify the damage that his team is doing in terms of right clicks, or does he want to cut through his opponent's defensive reactions, basically?
Well,
and more attack speed as well. Good against Egg. Really good thing.
Well, there's our answer. It's a BKB.
Okay.
He finds the recipe for the BKB. And Io will also purchase up the gem. They realize that Slark has a Shadow Blade, so they have to be careful about how actually getting the jump onto OG.
Yep, but Newbie still doesn't feel safe being separate, basically, because if any of their heroes die right now, it's so early in the game that saving for buyback is just futile, because it's not going to get you back in the game. Unless it's like Tide dies right at the start without ravaging, he buys back and gets a great ravage. So
the problem you have with that is OG just then becomes so much more efficient across the map. They find farm absolutely everywhere they want to go, and there's no real risk to it either. Because even if you do find like one hero slightly out of position, Crick could either relocate him out or relocate friends in.
That's true. So they keep Venge as well as the IO semi together. That'll protect No Tail. Puck can be fine to farm just about anywhere on the map since he can always just orb and or Yules and blink, stuff like that. And he said 14 now, so he's got 4 in phase shift. A very crucial level here. Newbie's gonna have so much trouble killing him for the rest of the game.
Well, the time is up. Everyone's almost ready to go unless Moon wants to take a little bit more time to pick up that blink dagger of his. Moon?
He's messing with him.
He really is. It's a hilarious thing. That's actually that's a 2-man team. That's a Dro that's doing that too.
It's good to scout with that actually. It honestly is, because they're always going to know where their opponents are. One little neutral creep. It's definitely the most least used thing about Helm of the Dominator, at least in the past, was that carries would basically just use that to stack ancients, not to scout, not to team fight, not to use the ability. But it does all of those things. Roshan is respawned, by the way, so very likely that OG is going to want to push out lanes, do a smoke, take a fight.
Yep.
At least waste the team fight ultimates and then take Rosh, or get kills then take Rosh.
Yep. Obviously, you don't want to take Roshan first, because if you give Newbie any chance to come back into this game, Roshan would probably be it. Like a team with a whole bunch of AoE abilities, and you put yourself in a clustered area.
Well, here's the next problem that I keep forgetting about. They already got Raxed, so this early on in the game, they have to go back to the creep wave, and they're getting less experience from this wave, and they're getting less gold as well. It's just very difficult for a newbie right now. They're going to be able to deal with the high ground as well.
Here they come.
So good luck, newbie, finding the right initiation.
The Hawk and the Boar are already in a position where they can't come down unless they're smoked up.
And it's such a good thing to have on Radiant too, because normally Dire has so much advantage over Rosh. You have to run up a hill to go to the place where newbie's probably sitting. Now they can generally always see where they are. They sun right into the Rosh pit. They could fight now. Is a good time.
Oh, but look at OG. Oh, there's a good time to fight. They're going to 5-man smoke through the bottom lane and try and wrap around the back. That's their aggressive scan. Looking to see if Newbie is still posturing there.
They found him. They know where they are. They know how to take the fight. Do they still want to fight it though? They do definitely.
Oh, Chord. He loves this ward. He put it down again. It doesn't break the smoke just yet, however. They're still too close. Chuan gets jumped on. There it is again through the primary target. The disrupts the snowstorm again for this fight. Miracle. He'll also go in with a BKB. He's pretending and Kaka has no idea what to do. Moo also to trigger off the Ravage. The Nova will be dropped at the same time. The Nova will not complete. Miracle's a double kill. Moo will drop as well. This game looks like it's practically over.
Yeah, they can just go mid right now. There's no buybacks on Newbie. They could take Rosh, but why do that when you can get a second Rax at 24 minutes? This drought strat is completely paying off. They all have BKBs, they have auras, they picked off one of the crucial teamfight elements right at the start, which is the silence. And without Static Storm, Ravage is not enough damage. It's really just set up for the disruptor.
Does OG have to go for the GG now? The tier 2 tower is still up on the bottom lane, so they can't force the Megas, but Ravage is down.
They go back.
That big ability.
Ravage is down, they got the Rax, take Aegis for free, absolute free. Rosh, and that's Aegis. You wait till your ultimates are back up and the Necro 3 and you just go straight bottom. I don't even know. They could still lose. Okay, we've seen a lot of crazy
it's possible
dying going to high ground today. Get a pipe on OG, then they're absolutely set. No way they lose at that point.
Look at the extra damage. Everyone has a bonus 64 damage if you're a ranged hero. Because Notel also just picked up an Eagle Song. He'll hold the Aegis to the bottom. They keep their auras alive. And they will line up for bottom lane. One last push for OG to go into the winner's bracket final. And
something pretty unexpected, really. I mean, if Newbie loses 0 games up until this point, a lot of people expected that they were going to win today. I know the bets were like that, but OG, one of the most disciplined teams, they're very, very efficient at 5-manning, and efficiency is one way that you actually have to beat a team like Newbie, because they get so much done.
Oh, here they come for the tier 2. That's so low, there's no way Newbie come out to defend it. They also have no fortification here, Newbie, so they can't play around the glyph.
They don't even have Ravage yet. 45 seconds left for that one. And they're TPing in, Beastmaster's on the way, Boots of Travel for him.
The blink and the Necro books back up. I'm wondering if they can catch Sean again.
Well, that's the ideal. He's definitely the most important teamfight hero. I mean, Ravage is going to get off no matter what. Killing Phoenix would also be great too. They could do that. He's got to go Scepter though. That would buy him some time.
It's still funny though, because it's not really as powerful. Like, Sean isn't really as powerful as those BKBs are there. So he's fantastic to pick off, and you can't say why he's just him there to jump on the Kaka. But I'm actually wondering like, if it's even better to take out Phoenix.
Phoenix would be really good also, definitely.
Tide Ravage in 1 second.
Alright, they're ready to fight. Will Newbie go in?
Notel.
Hitting the building.
Yep. Make the most out of that Dragon Lance.
Well, they do have some kills. Quit's got 2 urns and 2 bottles and a wand, so trading his health a little bit here is completely worth it.
Meanwhile, the top lane and the mid lane continue to pressure in. Another BKB is up for Fly. A 309 support VS, who's currently dishing out about 250 damage.
God, that's so ridiculous. And they're trying to keep the Phoenix slow. Miracle keeps poking at him, and that's because it gives him a better shot of just bursting him down in the later fight.
This chip to victory. Notel will outrun the Sunray.
So that's a problem with Notel in the drought here. He's winning, so he has too much HP, so Sunray does more damage.
I don't want to see that as a bad point for a drought. She just keeps chipping away at this building as well.
Alright, this is basically their last chance. If this tower goes down,
they have to jump.
It.
House ready. jump, he finds Notal. Remember, there's your BKB. Aegis Immortal is still available for Notal, but Hal at least gets the BKB reaction out.
Yeah, really nicely done by Hal there. And now, OG's going to be a little unsure if they're going to see.
Okay. Noobie's not unsure. Moon just blinked up on top of the hill, but OG's already backed out.
Well, OG can just wait 60 seconds or so. They did lose a 9-second BKB, but 8 is just about as good.
You still have to keep your eyes on the tier 4 towers. They're going down to the creep waves that are pushing in.
Yeah, they have all the time in the world. They do not have to force this. Like, they're even going to deny it, and they have to at this point, because the amount of gold that those give is massive. BKB's
also
ready on
because
bench
Chuan
now.
can't even kill the creep in time.
Yeah, that's a good point. But BKB is up on bench. They've got BKBs on 3 heroes. Only people with no BKB is Crit on the IO and Beastmaster.
Boo jumps in, goes on Notal once more, but Aegis Immortal is still there. Moo gets reeled back, but Hal jumps forward, flying, will put himself in attack position. Kills his own BKB as well as 4-star available, so he wants to force off and not burn his BKB charge.
Very patient. I would have popped my BKB like 25 seconds earlier than that. That would scared the hell out of me. So they still haven't used their BKBs. Nobody died here. Crit's going to be pretty low on regen because of this, which means he can't really give much regen to other people, but they do still have Aegis. No swap for 20. They've got to wait for that minimum.
Aegis is only up for another minute and 20 seconds though, but now you get an Aghanim Scepter over on the puck. So, oh boy.
6-second coil duration. If they break it, even with Magic Immunity, they get super stunned. But this is like so early, it's not even good yet, actually, because Newbie doesn't even have a chance to get a BKB.
Well, what are you going to do? You 25k with the network behind Notal. There's the jump. Chris stays on him. Remember that Aegis still on him for a long, long time. And now, can they find it? Notal will trigger the BKB. They lose the IO. And Notal's still hiding in the corner. So is Miracle. He's waiting for a 10 jump. He'll get a 3-man coil off. Carl might be initiating on the back lines. And now, well, Hal, he is low. He tries to run himself away. The cut from Notal. He keeps the ball flying out. The moment straight down 3. The Ravage from Moon down to 3 and nothing. Only Moon to die. And Miracle. Well, here it is. GG, well played. We don't even hit half an hour on this game. OG will take the series 2-1 over what looked to be the invincible Chinese team.
They had to bring the schedule on, man. Epicenter's got a reputation of gold. We moved the schedule. The crowd is actually completely packed all of a sudden.
This crowd is all about OG, man. They have been so biased throughout the entire tournament. I say entire tournament being just this one series, but wow, what a great thing for OG. They